Thank you, Jean, for the warm welcome. I'm always so honored and humbled to be in a room full of people who could have chosen any path in life. Most people do not go through the rigors of training, the sacrifice of time, the willingness to put yourselves in harm's way on a volunteer basis throughout the state of New York. And I'm always in awe of the men and women of the firefighting services, and I want to applaud you right now for all you do for the people, keeping 20 million New Yorkers safe. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a heart full of gratitude. I'd also want to recognize you have an extraordinary leader here. Jean Perry has been a friend and an ally, a champion in cause that support all that you do to just give you a little bit of a break in life, to understand the challenges you're going through and help us understand how important you are to all of us. So I want to give Jean a round of applause as well, our president of FASNY. I also want to give a special shout out to Jackie Bray. If you don't know Jackie, then you should, because she is the person who calls me when there's a fire, a crisis, a tragedy. She is our head of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. She does an extraordinary job, and please give my ally and partner in government, Jackie Bray, a round of applause as well. I know you have a number of state elected officials. I'm grateful for their support, but I know we're in the home of Monica Martinez. Senator Martinez, great to see you, and also we're in Mike Fitzpatrick turf as well. Good to see you again, Mike. And I know we have Joe Stefano and Kwani O'Farrow here as well from the state legislatures. Thank you for your support for this extraordinary organization. Ed Romaine, my great friend from Suffolk County. Ed, where are you? Good to see you, County Executive. Every time he sees me, he's like, he needs more money, so I'm going to try and slip out the door with my pockets intact this time. And also, I know we have our sheriff here, who I was just with a very short time ago with the county executive, as I was able to come and commend the extraordinary work done by the men and women in uniform as well, keeping our communities safe. So I want to thank Sheriff Tulun is being here as well. So we've got everybody. I will just give you a few reflections right now, because you mentioned that I spent 14 years in local office. 14 years, 10 volunteer fire companies in my town. I calculated that's 140 fireman installation dinners that I went to. My husband was always so happy because he knew at least 10 times a year he was going to get a good meal. And my husband was a federal prosecutor, law enforcement, and I felt a special bond with the people in the volunteer service and always enjoyed those dinners as well. But it gave me such an appreciation, because I saw not just people gathering for annual awards, I saw people gathering as a family. The bonds that are created among people who are literally in the line of fire, in the trenches, responding to emergency calls in people's homes, going into the unknown with such a selfless attitude. I always treasured those opportunities and to support them from the local level, and I've never lost that desire to do everything I can to support you. There's a few things we've been able to do. We wanted to make sure, as I heard, the volunteer stipend program was important to me, because I heard this all my life, that we want more people, but the cost of the time away for getting the training, we said, let's just make it a little bit easier. Let's put together a stipend program. We've had actually 3,200 volunteer firefighters that we were able to help pick up the cost for this as well, because I know all of you. You want to expand the ranks to more. How do we open the doors so we get more people, young people, excited about, to have the same excitement that you had when you're starting out making your decisions? And for many people, I know this is generational. There's grandpa or grandma, mom, dad, brothers, sisters. It becomes a personal journey for your family of great tradition of service. But it does take its toll on people, so we're trying to help with that as well. We put in millions of dollars for our fire service. We also are aware of one more thing: the mental toll that it takes on people. I acknowledge this. I have seen mental health challenges from people in uniform, whether in law enforcement, firefighting service, and many others, first responders, who see humanity at its worst sometimes. And they're also humans. And for us to finally acknowledge that we need to be providing mental health support for people who ask for it and remove the stigma associated with it. because I get very concerned when I see high rates of suicide for people who wear uniforms, because they're crying for help and no one's answering. So I want you to know I'm also committed to this as well. We've put $1 billion to help with mental health, and I've launched the CARES Up program, and I want your ideas as well, your ideas on what we can do to be supportive so others will not be afraid of being criticized or stigmatized by getting that important help. You know, FASNY's been an organization since 1872. It's hard to believe how long that's gone on, and representing over 80,000 people across this state. You're really a powerhouse. And I try to interact with firefighters casually and formally any chance I get. I'm going to Erie County Fair near Buffalo, New York, flying up there tonight. Why? Because tomorrow is Firefighters Day at the fair. And I want to go stop by all the trucks, and I like to climb on them, and get a chance to see my friends that I've developed such a close relationship over many, many years. So I just want you to know that I recognize something that Ralph Waldo Emerson once said: the hero is no braver than an ordinary man, I should say woman too, but he's brave 5 minutes longer. It's often that 5 minutes where something goes off in your mind. Am I willing to go into this place? There is danger, there's fear. But I'm so impressed that all of you here and the people you represent across this state, tens of thousands of ordinary New Yorkers who become extraordinary in the moment. They are the bravest, but also I know they're among the humblest. So to them, the Women's Auxiliary organizations, who I love the Women's Auxiliary, because they're also in the heart of soul. They're the ones who are making it all happen to take off some of the burden on our firefighters. I want to thank them as well. And know this, I'll always have your back. You have ours, I'll have yours. So as I continue on as your governor, the highest honor of my entire life, and for someone who started in the shadow of a Bethlehem steel plant in Buffalo, very, very humble beginnings, I will never take for granted the trust that people have in me, and I'll always be there for all of you. So with that, I just want to say I came here to say thank you again, because I don't know where we'd be without all of you being willing to do what you do to sacrifice on behalf of your fellow residents across the state. Thank you very much, everyone.